Greetings, blade fans. Well, we've got some knives on the table today. What do you think? What the heck are we got knives on the table for today? Oh, yeah, we take a look at knives on this channel. Cool. Well, Happy New Year, if I haven't wished you that yet already. We are at least a few days into the new year of 2024 here. And I've been doing collection reviews, collection overviews, and kind of looking back into the last year of 2023 and determining, what kind of fits together. So I've done, my favorite folders, my favorite high-end stuff. I think we did some favorite fixed blades. Well, you can see the stuff on the channel. I thought it'd be a cool idea to look at some of the more unusual knives, at least the ones in my collection, for 2023. So here we go. And you can agree or disagree. And I'm sure I left something out that you feel is unusual that came out in 2023. But I think I'm going to kind of spot around here. Here's the Corvid XL, and it is XL from Concept Knives. An internal design, as far as I know. They sent me this one to take a look at. This has what they deem to be the parent and child, or adult and child fist bump, collaboration, unity, so on and so forth. It's in a very light blue. I don't know if you can tell that through the colors that come through the vid or not. I make an effort to stay fairly color balanced with what I show you. It's got a medium to dark gray. What did they use here for this XL? I think it's 154. Yeah, 154 cm. And it's certainly a cleaver. It is like an old-fashioned meat cleaver. How valuable, how useful this design is, I don't know. I know you can get that point into play relatively quickly for slicing things. Might be a good box cutter. Break down those boxes. If you choke up here, you've got a very nice grip with a thumb swale because of that forward choil. You can hold it back here and chop if you want. Got some very large bumpy jimping, and the handle is a G10. We do have a deep carry clip that's not transferable to the left side. They didn't go quite that far. Got a fuller, and it is just an unusual blade because it's so darn squared off. You could call it pointless, but no, there's a point if you want one. Right there, you've got to change the angle of the knife a little bit. But it is just so large, it is just so unusual for a knife blade shape. Not sure where this whole concept, right, came from. But a lot of makers, a lot of manufacturers, and some makers have followed suit and are doing cleavers for 2023. I'm going to put that guy down, and we don't want to spend too much time on each one here. So I'll see if I can back out a little bit so you can see a little bit more. There we go. The Corvid, okay, by Concept. And it is not an internal design. I take that back. It is a Coke, I believe. Yeah, it's Coke Tools design. So I was wrong on that. I just remembered, because they have a number of others in the Corvid line. They've got some baby ones. They've got the M's. They got the M pluses, and they've got all sorts of handle materials, including some fancy stuff. We're going to jump to a Tiguas, if I'm saying that correctly, design. And I'm still kind of compromised here with the big old bandage on the hand. Comes off in 2 days. So hopefully I'll be able to manipulate knives a little bit easier. I am a lefty, but don't do too well with particularly the front flippers. And this is definitely a front flipper. Let's see if I can get it open. Good God. I'm going to have to use two hands. Very awkward, yeah, I know. There we go. Once I get it open, I ain't playing with it either, guys. So if you want to see Flip Fest, you're going to have to visit another channel. Acrobatics and such. We've got a really interesting kind of a copper infused carbon fiber, I believe, on this. What's unusual about this one is that it's one of the few crisp blades in a folder that I've seen. And in order to accomplish that and make it perfectly meshed with the handle, Tyos did that. And so the blade totally disappears into the handle. I think that is very, very unusual. Get that open again without cutting myself. So single edge, and you've got that kind of snake's tongue thing going on, very much in keeping with a lot of the Indonesian Kris styles. Not so much the Filipino Kris styles, but very much the Indonesian Kris. And it's just a cool knife. It's unusual how useful it is. You can find some aspects of the blade that make it useful. You got double bellies there. You've got a kind of a claw on the end. I think it's just kind of a collectible art piece. Not extremely useful, but you may argue with me on that one. And if you've got one and you've found some use for it, flip it over, get a little better shine. There we go, show that handle. So this is the Kaananagari. Kaananagari. Almost forgot to tell you the name. And what steel? I think I got it in my notes. If you bear with me, what steel did they use? I think it's at least like a 154. Kaananagari is S35. Okay, so S35. Moving right along, how about the Huntsman? Not Huntsman, but Huntsmen. This is a design by James Lowe. He's an Aussie, as far as I know. And he did this really interesting blade design. And I'm going to say it reminds me of some other designs that are out there. A lot of people disagreed and said, no, it's not. But because I can't remember the name of that knife, and I'm sure somebody will tell me, I'm not going to compare it at the moment. But look at how unusual that blade is. It's got kind of a horse's hoof there, or maybe some other part of the horse's anatomy. I'm not sure. It's named after the Huntsman spider. That is a large and I think poisonous spider from his homeland in Australia there. It's just a beautiful knife. It still is, as odd as it is in terms of the profile and the geometry. Notice the compound grind there, almost a Tonto-ish. Everything's got to relate to Tonto, right? With a recurve. The grid work up here is supposed to represent the 4 eyes of the spider, these last 4 holes here, which is kind of cool. It is a thumb stud opener, and it is a frame lock. Doesn't open any other way. You could possibly middle finger flick it. I'm not going to try at the moment because you do want me to keep my good hand in shape at least. Steel on this, and this by Kaiser, is S35 yen. A staple steel for sure for the Kaiser company. And I'm just telling you, ergonomically, it is much more comfortable than it might look to your eye. The Huntsman by Kaiser, James Lowe design. Where are we at now? We're going to go to a fixed blade by Civi. One of several unusual fixed blades they've been coming out with over the past year or so. And it is by PG Knives. I think I marked this in my original review as a JP Knives, and I think there is a JP Knives. But this is PG Knives, and he is a Polish knife designer, if I got that much right. Part of me is Polish, so when we have Polish designers, I kind of like to give them creds for sure. What's so unusual about this? Well, they did use Ultim in the handle, and I think it looks really cool with the Ultim handle, although you can get it in black and a couple other finishes. They used, what did they use on this? I think it's just D2, just D2. Let's see. Open up my notes again, and it is, this is the Propagator, by the way. Yes, it's in D2. So Civi seems to have a track record of introducing these fixed blades and some other knives once in a while in D2. I think they want to get the design out there, especially these radical designs. Interesting compound there. At a lower price, and this is well under $100, I think. Really nice thumb swale there. Short little fuller, just mainly for design. It's got a stonewash kind of a finish on it. Maybe a bead blast. I think I call that a bead blast. There's PG Knives logo. Nothing on the other side except a Civi. But look at all the angles on this thing. I think that's what made me pick it as an unusual knife. You've got like a forward belly. You've got like a this dished out what appears to be a hollow grind here, flat grind there. They did a lot of work on this. Certainly a lot of machining, a lot of milling done on this knife. Thick blade stock. By the way, as I always say, there are individual reviews on each of these knives. If you want to know more, just look them up on the channel. This is sort of an honorable mention. This is the Besttech Glock by Kanu. He's designed some knives for Tucson that I have in the collection. And what makes this unusual? Well, kind of a compound grind there, you see, with that forward. Large flat, pretty slicey, long run of jimping. And yes, it's spelled differently, G-L-O-K rather than G-L-O-C-K. I think that would be a copyright infringement if they used the Glock pistol name. But it is kind of meant to be a companion piece to the Glock pistol, just an everyday, solid, usable knife. Not much of a point there, but lots of belly. And you'd have to go way, way up, almost vertical to get at that point. So I'd say it's mainly a slicer. It's about a 3.5-inch blade. It's got a thumb disc platform, sort of. Deep carry clip that is not reversible to the other side. That's unfortunate. Big lanyard hole here. Lightweight knife. Feels pretty comfortable. Again, an unusual design. You don't often see a blade that is ground that way. The profile maybe, but with that that compound grind there, maybe not. And a bit of a swedge. Is it a swedge? No, it's just a flat. Sorry about that. It's a flat, as far as I know. That's the Glock by Besttech. Another Civi, like I'm saying. Some unusual Civi designs. Kind of a cheap sheath, unfortunately. So what looks like a push dagger when you pull it out of the sheath becomes, a little one-hand manipulation there, a EDC fixed blade. And there is no lock on this guy. It's called the Typhus. I think it's named after a Greek monster. Don't quote me on that. Again, got individual reviews on these guys. You want to flick it back to becoming a push dagger, just a matter of that. You can roll it with your finger. I prefer to sort of snap it and then grab it. It won't cut you, even though it won't lock, because your finger is supposed to be there. If your fingers were back here, yeah, it might bite you. This is a takeoff of a more expensive Typhus, that I think might lock or might not lock under the Wii label. So Civi being a budget, not so much budget anymore, but a budget wing of the Wii knife company, they came out with it again. And steel on this one, we asked them not to brand the knives, so they definitely aren't, right? The steel on that one is, by the way, the steel on the Glock, the Besttech Glock, is 14C28N. On the Tyos, it is also 14C28N with an aluminum handle. Okay. Well, there you go. My only complaint, well, I don't know that I'd really carry this knife much. Maybe some of you are. It comes with a very pedestrian, very basic kind of dime store leather sheath. I think maybe if they went to Kydex, it'd be a little bit more, but, you know, be a useful sheath, a little bit more useful. They could slip it in this way would be nice, maybe to carry it that way. But when you carry it this way and it's in the sheath, it doesn't stick up as much, so it won't poke you in the ribs, so to speak. We're down to our last one. It looks like probably the coolest knife, I would say, of 2023 is the Riot XK. And pardon me, while I don't flip it, it is designed to be spun and opened. So when you spin it like that and open it, I will press the button here, and it's actually easier to flip it, but oh my God, I look like a real klutz. If you get hand surgery, just know that you're going to be a real klutz for a while. Let me see if I can get this open off camera. There we go. Just had to push and release it. So the idea of the knife is that you open it up, and then you flip it back, which I'm not going to do. It locks, and you've got your karambit. I totally didn't expect I'd be doing this video when I got that surgery, but I knew I'd be sort of compromised. Anyway, as I say, it comes off in a couple days, and hopefully I'll be able to move these things around a little bit easier than I've been just demonstrating right now. The cool thing about this, it comes in a box, and I don't have the trainer on the table, but it came with a dull trainer. Steel on this one is, I think it's 14C. 90% sure that it's 14C. Because for some reason, I'm not seeing a lot of, no, it's N690. And like Nancy 690, very popular steel with Bastianelli over the years and with many Italian knife companies. So this being a Riot, I'm wondering if it is a Chinese made or elsewhere, if they farmed it out to Italy. That would be a different one, wouldn't it? Aluminum handle, N690 blade, very wicked karambit. It's got that point when you hold it pretty much out front, kind of a cross between what I'd call a Filipino karambit and a Indonesian karambit, which the Indonesian karambits tend to be more like a full claw, where that point, when you hold it this way, that point goes directly forward. So this is kind of a compromise. That point is definitely forward because defensively they're using it in fighting sense. They're using it into the eye sockets. Oh yes. That's what they do. Clip on this one, yes, and a lock. So different from the XOM and some of those that are out the front knives, that are gravity knives. This is also a gravity knife, so might be one that you have restrictions on in your area. But there you go. Those are 7. With the Glock kind of being a honorable mention, 6 + 1, 7. For 2023 that I think are unusual blade shapes, unusual designs, just plain old unusual. Well, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. I will be back soon and hopefully in a little better condition, but I wanted to keep the videos rolling. Be well, take care, see you soon.